Well, it's been a good ride while it lasted. Hey guys, I'm Max, and I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes for over 2 years now. And if I didn't live in Belgium, I would still be playing it for the rest of my life probably. I thought this would be a good time to pass on my wisdom to the new players. And they do exist because this video still gets new views every day. I made the original video because at the time most other Fae guides had become pretty outdated. But ironically enough, that video itself has become pretty irrelevant as well. Not only has the game changed a lot since then, but my ability to write and edit have also improved a lot. So hopefully I'll be able to explain everything a bit more clearly this time around. With that in mind, here's my hopefully definitive Fire Emblem Heroes Beginner's Guide. Let's get into it. Getting new characters is, for most people, the best part of the game, but for that you'll need orbs. You can get them from logging in, but also from clearing story mode maps, completing quests and missions, fighting in an arena and so forth. For all those modes you want to assemble a team you're comfortable using. When you just started playing the game, just try to use as many characters as possible, or at least the ones that look the most interesting to you. Try to use characters with different weapon types and make sure you don't only cover the weapon triangle but also physical and magic damage. I will also recommend that you don't use anything lower than 3 stars. The amount of stars determine how high the stats of your units are and to which skills and weapons they have access to. 1 and 2 star characters are just worthless. It's okay to use 3 and 4 stars, but sooner or later you should have enough 5 stars to make multiple teams full of them. I know not everyone has the devil's own luck or can afford to buy orbs, but believe me, it's not as hard as it sounds. You can actually get a lot of units for free, even 5 stars. Right now I'll go over all of them and how you can get them. Fjorm, an infantry lance user from chapter 1 of book 2 under main story maps. Legendary Ike, an infantry sword user that you can get from Xenologue 3 under paralogs. And finally you can get Air, a flying dagger unit from chapter 1 of book 3, again under the main story. And I'm not entirely sure whether or not this counts as free to play, but you can get Male Byleth if you registered Fire Emblem free houses on your Nintendo account. You can also get a number of units as rewards for clearing certain events. The first of these is Tempest Trials, which is a seasonal event that only comes with certain banners. You can usually unlock a 4 and a 5 star version of an exclusive character through this mode, along with a lot of orbs and other goodies. The second are the special maps. Some of these give 3 to 4 star characters for beating them, while others just give orbs. I understand how some people might think these are a bit intimidating at first, but don't worry. A lot of YouTubers offer solutions using free-to-play characters. You can't summon any of the units that fall under these two categories the normal way. Instead you have to use Holy Grails in the Allies menu if you want more of them. But you'll get them at 4 stars. You'll have to unlock their potential if you want to use them at 5 stars. And that brings me to my next point. If you go to Allies and then Ally Growth, you'll get this menu. You're gonna use this a lot. From this menu I'm gonna explain 2 things in depth. Unlock potential and inherit skill. As I said earlier, you can upgrade your units and increase their rarity. In other words, you can turn any 4 star into a 5 star as long as you have 20k feathers and 20 great badges from the right color. Now don't go crazy with this. Before you do anything, go to your settings and turn on the Asset Flaw Color display. If you now go back to your barracks, you'll see that some of your units have the asset marked in blue and the flaw marked in red. In the community, you might also hear the terms boons and banes or IVs getting thrown around. If all stats are colorless, that means your unit has neutral IVs, and this will be the case with every unit that you get for free. The reason why I'm telling you this now is because if you're gonna promote 4 star units, you might as well make sure they have good IVs. You will eventually get multiple versions of the same 4 stars, and because of that, sometimes it can be worth it to wait until you get the ideal IVs, so you can get an even better unit out of it in the end. Some 4 stars can become absolute monsters with a plus attack or plus speed IV. If you're wondering what the optimal IVs are for your unit, then you should just look it up. I'll leave a link with the Game Press site in the description. If you simply look your character up there, you can see how they will turn out with their IVs and which ones are optimal for them. And right above unlock potential we have inherit skill. This is your other use for 4 stars. There are no units in the game that come with a fully built skill set, so you'll need to use this if you want your units to perform optimally. First of all, give all the units that you don't want to lose a heart. That way the game won't let you accidentally get rid of them. You put the unit that you want to give a skill here, and the unit that has the skill you want to inherit here. I know it might be hard to decide what skills are best to give to your units, but I think you can understand why I can't explain it for every unit in the game. If you want to be guaranteed to get a good build or just don't want to waste your fodder, the most logical thing to do would be to look up a build to copy. This is fine, but don't always go with the first skill set you come across. You'll almost always find builds with skills like Distance Counter, Wrath, Blue Flame or other 5-star exclusive skills. Just ignore them for now. They're mostly for people that spend a lot of money on the game or have saved up units for years. Once you find some easier to builds, it should be smooth sailing from there. And now we go to the bread and butter from the game, the summoning. I'm gonna explain two things, pity breakers and the different kinds of banners. Your appearance rate or pity rate will increase by 0.25% every time you summon 5 stones without getting a 5-star. I want to point out that the amount does carry over between different sessions, but the percentage will never change during a session. As soon as you tap summon, the game has already decided what 5 characters are in the orbs. What I'm trying to say is that the percentage will only change after you summoned. As soon as you get a 5-star, the rate will reset back to 3%. Keen-eyed viewers might have noticed that there are 2 percentages on each banner. The first number is for the characters on the banner themselves. The second percentage is for the so-called pity breakers. There are a bunch of older 5-stars which will always be in the summoning pool. In the case that you aren't interested in any specific 5-stars and will just take everything, you can ignore my next tip. But if you look at the banner and say, I need it! Then try this. After you build up a decent pity rate, only summon on the color of the character that you want. This way you might miss out on a random 5-star, but your chance of getting your wanted character will be much bigger, since you keep carrying over your appearance rates. This isn't a guaranteed way of getting a character, but it's probably the closest we'll ever get. Sooner or later you will run into multiple versions of the same 5-star, and the question you might be asking then is, what do I do with them? Well, you basically have two options. You either merge them or use them for skill inheritance. Let me explain. If you didn't know, you can merge the same heroes with each other for stat increases on the original hero. When you merge a hero for the first time, their flaw will disappear completely, and if they were neutral, they'll get a slightly bigger boost on 2 stats. There are a few rules you should keep in mind. You won't get a stat increase if the character on the right is of a lower rarity. And if you have an already merged character on the right and an unmerged one on the left, the merges will still carry over, so you don't have to worry if you eventually find another one with better IVs. But why wouldn't you want to do this, you may ask? Well, I can think of 2 reasons. One is if the character is used in a free-to-play guide. Because of that small stat increase, the AI might respond differently, which means that the solutions won't always be guaranteed to work. The second example is if the character comes with a really rare skill. There are a lot of 5-stars that come with frankly broken skills or weapons, and thanks to the skill inheritance, you can give them to some of your other heroes to make them even stronger. It goes without saying that you should only give those premium skills to units you're actually gonna use. If you get a 5-star twice and don't know what to do with them, again, I recommend looking up how good and rare the skills are on Game Press or on other sites. If the skill itself doesn't appear on any easy to summon characters, I would consider following them off. But keep in mind that you can follow off 4 skills at a time, and that most skills only have 3 stages. So if a unit has 2 or more great skills, you can look for the earlier stages of those skills on other characters to follow off multiple great skills from one unit. You might think that this won't happen to you anytime soon, but you might never know. It actually happened to me around 3 times when I just started. And right now I kinda regret not following them off, since I didn't know how good their skills were. Wow, it's been 1 year and I still suck at ending videos. All I want to say is, I hope this video was useful for you or you at least enjoyed it. And if anything was unclear to you, just leave a comment. That way I, or someone else probably, can try to explain it better. But I guess this was it for me. I just can't believe that no one in Belgium will be able to play this game anymore. Wait. Yeah, like, comment and subscribe, bye.